Shabbat Shalom. As we wind down the Jewish year, we come to the end or near the end of the book of Devarim, of Deuteronomy, and the parsha this week is Teitzei, a fascinating parsha which begins with the dynamic set if you go to war and you capture a woman and you decide you want to take her for your own. In the first 3 paragraphs, we learn if you take the woman, you have to keep her in your home a certain amount of time. And then as you keep her and she has a child, what happens if the child is then a stubborn and rebellious child? The implication is that if you decide to take a woman in war, it is an inappropriate action to begin with, and all you're going to have is a lot of tsuris, which is a technical term, as you have a family. But it introduces the concept of legislating a law out of existence. By that we mean the Torah specifies that if a stubborn and rebellious child doesn't listen to its parents and is a glutton and is a drunkard, then you can put it to death, or you can put him to death. 1,000 years later, the rabbis are very uncomfortable with this, and so they take a look at the text and they look at the letter of the law and they say, since Hebrew is gender specific, well, if you have a stubborn and rebellious son, excluding all girls. If it's a drunkard and a glutton, well, what defines a glutton? How much meat must a person eat at a meal in order to be a glutton? How much wine must they drink in order to be considered a drunkard? At the end of 12 to 15 pages of the Talmud, we learn that this law can never be in any way enacted. So there's no such thing as a stubborn and rebellious child, and yet we know if it's in the Torah, it was a law at one time. This is one of the foundational concepts of Jewish law, where when we find a law that no longer applies, we keep the law, but we make it impossible for it to be adhered to. Shabbat Shalom.